WSWU News. I'm Addison Boggs.
And I'm Andrew Baxley.
On today's broadcast, we will examine different societal issues and events, whether it's preparing for the workforce, rising numbers in caffeine addicts, or cultural issues. Our world is always evolving. First, we will take a dive into the world of TikTok. Let's get started.
TikTok has obtained a chokehold on this generation. Whether it's scrolling to watch funny videos, finding new recipes, or making content, this generation can't seem to stay off the app. Let's go to Rayvon Allen with more on the topic.
Behind me is Blue Hill. This is where Southern Wesleyan students spend most of their free time doing work, spending time on social media platforms, and lots of other things. TikTok is taking over our generation slowly but surely. But with TikTok comes positive and negatives.
TikTok is a big time-consuming app that has everything for each and every genre you can think of. TikTok is being seen as very addictive at times.
I think TikTok's an entertaining app. I mean, I use it all the time. You know, there's different challenges on there, basketball videos, funny stuff. I just use it all the time. I think it's an entertainment. You know, you can use TikTok hacks, life hacks in it too, so I think it's a good entertainment source.
Although TikTok can be seen as positive in some people's eyes, others would say it has questionable things on it.
I don't think it's beneficial to the younger generation because a lot of the generation is stuff on TikTok that like younger kids shouldn't be learning.
Various challenges and videos from the past, like the ones being shown, are things you see on TikTok and would call funny. But not everyone sees it as funny. Some may call it dumb because it can lead to bigger problems in the future or for the younger generation. Although TikTok may have some bad on it, it also can continue to be covered up by more good than bad. It all depends on what you like and favorite from the past.
Hopefully TikTokers can find a way to produce more good and beneficial things rather than bad on the platform. This is Rayvon Allen with MC SWU. Now back to the studio.
Thank you, Rayvon. It's mind-blowing to see how many people use TikTok as part of their daily routine.
I don't know about you, Andrew, but even I use TikTok on a daily basis, and I love finding new music and artists and keeping up with my favorite celebrities or even finding deals on TikTok Shop. Now we go to Nevin Belcher with a more in-depth discussion on the topic.
TikTok, the popular video sharing app, has been under the scrutiny for its handling of user data and privacy concerns in recent weeks.
Some practices allow the app to track other users, especially when they're not using the app.
In a way, yeah, but you still can get hacked by like people in different like states and countries and stuff like that. It really just depends on like how much TikTok like taking like accountability of like their privacy for like the users and all that.
This is not the first time TikTok has come under fire for its privacy concerns. The app was banned in several different states by the government.
I think with the privacy settings, I think they should be a little more strict, but at the same time, it's like they need to kind of die down and not letting it leak out to the public. Because, you know, you can get random emails from certain people because people like to hack certain stuff. So
the company announced new privacy features and tools that will allow users to have better control of their data and privacy settings. However, many experts remain skeptical and call for more transparency and accountability from the app.
It can get sold to some random account or something like that.
TikTok privacy concerns have raised some serious questions about online privacy and data protection. As they continue to navigate the digital world, it is important for everyone to be aware of the source of risk. This is Nevin Belcher for MC SWU.
Thanks, Nevin. It's always neat to see how social media's evolution has affected us as a society. Later, we will be discussing the struggles that college students face during their time at their university. But up next, we'll dive into some cultural issues that we face in today's day and age. We'll be back after the break.
Wake up and focus. Because this is not a drill. This is not about cliches, shallow taglines, or some inspirational quote for you to tweet, snap, pin, or post. No, this is where snooze buttons are frozen. Alarm clocks are broken, where feet hit the floor because dreams are now woken. This is it. Awaken your dreams. Awaken your soul. Awaken your purpose. This is Southern Wesleyan University.
Welcome back to SWU News. In the past 5 to 10 years, more and more men have begun to identify as women so that they can compete in women's athletics. As a female who has competed at the collegiate level, there is no question that the male species has an advantage.
God designed both male and female differently, giving each their own strengths and weaknesses. Knowing this fact, how can one allow men to step over the line and take away the power women have in athletics? Let's go to Addison Boggs with more on the story.
More and more men are beginning to identify as women simply to get an advantage in athletics.
Honestly, it's disappointing. It's hard to hear, and it's really frustrating for, I think, a lot of women who work their butt off trying to make a name for themselves in college sports, and then men who are biologically stronger than them, faster than them, just more capable of the things that we do are automatically being us to the sport without any prior knowledge or training or anything. And so it's really frustrating, and it gets to be disturbing just because, you know, at a certain point we have to begin to share locker rooms or just personal space with these people. And it's not that they're bad people, it's just that we're made differently, and that's not something that's super comfortable for a lot of women.
The world expects women to accept that this is the new normal. But by accepting it, women are also accepting defeat by default. So someone needs to make a change.
I definitely think that there should be a rule change. I think it is honestly disrespectful to elite women athletes who are trying, working hard every day of their lives to compete at a high level. I think it's disrespectful to take that opportunity away from them just because they're biologically different than men.
It's no secret that males are stronger than females. It's scientifically proven. The only thing left to do is make a change. This is Addison Boggs for WSWU. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Addison, for shedding some light on the importance of keeping men out of women's athletics. Gender roles have become a huge cultural issue in the past few years.
Another cultural issue that has really taken flight is students' interest in elections. In some cases, high school seniors have the right to vote for our office holders in D.C. Do these students really have all the information that they need to properly vote? Luke Staten has more information on the story.
So help you God? So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. President.
With the presidential election in 2024 approaching rather quickly, both parties are focused on winning over a huge portion of the population by getting the votes of college-aged voters. We want to know what these young adults are focusing on in the election and what is motivating them to vote. We caught up with a few students that were voters in the 2020 election and asked why they believe voting is so important.
It's our duty to vote, and it's something that I'm passionate about.
When asked what his biggest concerns were, he had this to say.
My biggest concern is other people voting that may not be necessarily educated on what they're voting for or who they're voting, what they're voting on, like policies and such. I think that can be a problem.
With so many candidates still running, it can be hard to narrow down which ones you want to represent our country. This is why knowing the policies that matter to you are so important coming election time. Many college-age students are also first-time voters. We caught up with one to see what he thinks can be done to help educate the youth on voting and what colleges need to do to prepare their students for not only this election season, but ones in the future as well.
Have a more, we could have classes on it. I think that's a big thing. People that need to learn our government system, because I think a lot of people don't know and they just go off what they hear.
This is Luke Staten reporting for WSWU.
Thanks, Luke. It's crucial that registered voters know all the facts before they submit their vote that will affect the country for the following 4 years. Later, we will take a look into how to prepare for the workforce. But up next, we will be discussing the struggles that college students face during their time at university. We'll be back after the break.
This is what winners are made of. This is what leaders are made of. This is what scholars are made of. This is what believers are made of. This is what warriors are made of.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course, man. Don't even sweat.
Really? Chatty, you are the best.
These things all seem plagiarized to me. I think I'm gonna have to fail you.
Why fail me? I only got one friend's help on these, Chad.
ChatGPT? There's no AI in our school.
ChatGPT and other AI sites are not a moral way to do your work. Have integrity and don't use ChatGPT for your assignments.
Welcome back to SWU News. The whole point of college is to focus on an area where you want to start your career and then learn more about it.
Internships are a terrific way of preparing yourself for your career. Here at SWU, we have a great array of internship opportunities, including here in the media department. Isabella Matos has more on this story.
Internships have become stepping stones for potential jobs in the future. College students have been using them to gain experience in the workforce. Unfortunately, due to COVID, many internship programs ended.
JDPR has been doing an internship program for the last 20 years, and that's something that Jeff Deason, who founded the company, was really passionate about. So I think that's probably the main reason why we went back to having interns after COVID-19. We really only took that, I think it was only that summer off. That collaboration, that mentorship is really important to us, and it's just been part of who we've been for forever.
Thankfully, many internship programs are starting up again, but how many people has this already affected?
I would definitely say COVID-19 affected my chances of getting an internship just in regard to trying to work in the hospital system. They were not allowing people who were trying to get hours just because they were trying to make it more selective, so more people weren't being exposed to the hospital setting. So the first year entirely that was going on, my freshman year, they were not allowing internships even remotely to get any hours, and it got a little bit more slack this past year.
Hopefully, with the pandemic ending, incoming college students will not struggle to find internships. This is Isabel Matos with MC SWU.
Thanks, Isabella. One issue that can be crippling for students of all ages is procrastination. Procrastination is essentially the act of delaying something up to the point of its deadline. It can cause major effects on your grade and even your mental health.
Even the best students have had an assignment that they procrastinated at some point. But it's when you get into a bad habit of procrastination when it can get dangerous. Let's go to Mark Picklesheimer, who has more on this topic.
First of all, I teach media arts here at Daniel High School, and media arts 1 is photography. And in that photography class, where I see a lot of procrastination is students not doing the work outside of the class.
Yeah, I find that procrastination for my kids has affected them not only with not being able to do as good quality work as they could do, but also the fact that sometimes they miss out on things because of their procrastination.
We also see how procrastination affects students in the classroom from a student's point of view.
I've seen it with my classmates and friends. I've seen some people freaking out at the last minute, or sometimes people who just don't care getting multiple zeros because they procrastinated and then didn't even realize that they had an assignment or didn't even care to do the assignment. And it can it can ruin your GPA. It can cause you not to go to college or have to drop out.
Procrastination in school can affect students physically and mentally, and also affects the work that is put in, if any work is put in. This is Mark Picklesheimer reporting for MC SWU.
Thanks, Mark. Up next, we will discuss the effects of caffeine on the body. We'll be back after the break.
Hi, I'm Madeline Barrett. I am a Southern Wesleyan graduate, class of 2021. I majored in media communication in a concentration of public relation. I am currently at the reserves at Lake QE here at the sales office. I work with Coldwell Banker Kane. This original position was part-time, and then my supervisor saw my resume and saw all of the things that I've done at Southern Wesleyan, including hosting a number of talk shows, creating an Instagram account for our communications department, and she thought, wow, you just have blown me away with all of these amazing things you've been a part of, and I want to offer you a full-time position here. Southern Wesleyan invested in me, and I got a return on my investment.
Will you marry me?
Yes! Caleb is very optimistic about their future together, but their future may not be quite so bright. Remember, ring by spring is not the goal. Stay safe and stay single out there during freshman mating season.
Welcome back to SWU News. Energy drinks have recently taken off more than ever. Between Celsius, Red Bull, Alani, and others, getting a caffeine boost has become easier than ever before.
Caffeine has just as much, if not more, negative effects on the body as it does positive. Addison Boggs dug deeper on the subject and has more to share.
Caffeine has been associated with many positive effects, like enhancing focus, heightened alertness, and even relief from persistent headaches. But it has also been associated with negative effects on health, mood, and social interactions. Daily consumption can quickly lead to a caffeine addiction characterized by cravings and withdrawal symptoms if intake is reduced or stopped.
I've just seen a lot of people become very reliant on it. Like they get more and more shots in their coffee. They're wanting more to stay awake, and they can get shaky. They can crave it. It's almost like a craving that you see.
Coffee, along with other caffeinated products, can lead to physical dependence, which in turn leads to chemical changes in the brain.
I actually never really did drink caffeine until I got my senior year of high school. My parents always told me not to. I can't stay awake if I don't do it, and so I started drinking coffee and then slowly graduated to energy drinks and coffee. When I need it and I take it, I feel good. But if I don't have any caffeine by 10 a.m., I start getting a headache, and after I take caffeine from the headache won't go away until I go to bed at night.
There are plenty of alternative options to choose from that will not cause these negative side effects, so it is important to choose your health and prioritize your sleep to keep your body in great health. This is Addison Boggs for MC SWU. As someone that drinks coffee and energy drinks regularly, I fully understand how easy it is for your body to become dependent on caffeine. It truly can be a craving. Ethan Lee has conducted research on the topic of caffeine addiction and has a different point of view to share.
94% of U.S. adults drink caffeinated beverages, with 64% of them drinking it daily. About 85% of adults consume 135 milligrams of caffeine daily. This is equivalent to about 12 ounces of coffee, which is the most common source of caffeine.
Caffeine is a mild central nervous system stimulant in the methylxanthine class of drugs. It gives you alertness and some mild euphoria. Too much can be detrimental to your health.
Caffeine is a very popular substance that gives people energy. It can be found in energy bars, drinks, like energy drinks, coffee, and powders, and it can also sometimes have people have a better mood. The opinions on it can be quite diverse.
For me personally, I don't really drink anything with caffeine or use anything that has caffeine in it very often. I just personally don't like drinks that have caffeine, like coffee or soda. I don't really feel like caffeine has much of an effect on me. I never really feel like very energized whenever I use it.
So I normally drink around 2 cups of coffee a day, normally in the morning before I get ready for work or school. I'm a nurse, so sometimes it fluctuates.
This is Ethan Lee reporting from MC SWU.
Thanks, Ethan. It truly doesn't take much to form an addiction, which in turn leads to withdrawal. Speaking of energy drinks and caffeine addiction, Andrew, do you have a caffeine addiction in your opinion?
I wouldn't say that I have a caffeine addiction. I'm not really a big coffee guy, but I do like the occasional Coca-Cola every once in a while when I'm watching a football game or something like that. What about you?
Honestly, with my sleep schedule and my work schedule, I kind of am reliant on coffee and energy drinks from time to time. And I know it's not the healthiest option, but sometimes you do what you got to do to stay awake and be able to work those long hours. But anyway.
Well, thank you for joining us on this week's SWU News. Stay tuned for next week's show.